All right, we should start on time. So this is interesting. And this is not uncommon, this is common. Anyone know what the attrition rate is in engineering? What do you think the success rate is? Let's say we have 10 students. How many of the 10 get a bachelor's degree? 1 out of 10, there's a guess. They'll say 2. Anybody want to go higher? 4. Anyone want to go higher than 4? 8 out of 10, you think? Wouldn't that be nice? That would be awesome. All right, so nationally, we're 3 out of 10. 30% make it, 70% don't. Personally, I don't think that's because of engineering. I think that's just because of life and the other courses you have to take other than engineering. But there are 19 of us enrolled in this class. Guess how many are here? Yeah, not 19. So the attrition has already started. And I haven't even talked about anything yet, right? It's kind of funny. Not that funny, but a little bit funny. Anyway, it's a low success rate. And that, of course, goes up. If you're just getting the 2-year degree, then that's around 70% at the community college, right? Because you're going to stay here. You're not going to transfer. You're going to build community here. You chose that 2-year degree because you want to go to work and you're probably motivated. Boom. 4-year degree can get this wide spectrum of folks that really aren't sure. Like, I think I want a 4-year degree in engineering. Then you go to school for a couple of years and you learn about all the other options out there. And a lot of folks jump right to other options. So it doesn't mean you're not successful. It doesn't mean you don't go get a degree. It just means it's not in engineering. So yeah, the more you can learn about it early on, that I think is going to build persistence in the program. So that's what this class is all about. It's all about like, hey, what are the skill sets we need to give them to get through college if they actually want to continue, right? So some of this class is actually just showing you resources, educating you on how to be successful in engineering. It's not a solo adventure in engineering. Very, very few people are successful just going it alone. So normally success rates go through the ceiling if you build a cohort, which means you're going to school with other students that have the same goal, educational goal as you, right? So in theory, this is a cohort. You're all essentially heading for the same goal. If you start to lean on each other and work together, your success rate will go through the ceiling. That's hard to do at a community college because we're so transient. Like, you're going to come to this class and then a minute after this class, you're going to go to your car and then go to work or go to your family or go to wherever you got to go, right? We're very transient. We're at a university, like my son's at Oregon State, he's going to go to class and then he's going to go hang out with his engineering friends at, some apartment and probably not study, but still they're going to hang out together, right? So they're going to build a more solid cohort, which builds success. So what I'm saying is, like, get to know each other. That's a good thing. This class will be part of that. All right. Any questions on anything up until this point in your first week at this campus? Yeah. The lecture? Yeah. So there is a lecture for today and it will open at 3:30 because I want you to watch it after we have lab. So normally I'll just have it open. You can watch it in the morning whenever, but today it's going to come available at 3:30. Yeah. Yep. Those of you that haven't posted in the submission area the mandatory attendance, don't worry, I'm not dropping you. I know you're here. I've actually already done attendance because everybody has functioned that's enrolled in this class, which is all I have to prove. But this is worth points. So 12 of you have posted of the 19 in the class. It's worth 10 points. You got to get in there and post. You have until over the weekend, so you still got time. Just don't miss the little details of those kind of things that have point value. And then today's lab is an academic plan. So you will submit that to Blackboard when you get it done, but I'm going to talk about it much more before we actually do it. Okay. Here's our 2 days of this week, Tuesday and Thursday, and there is an academic plan here that you can use. It's this thing in Excel. So if you know Excel, go grab it. and you can just fill it out that way. If you don't know Excel, don't do that, because that's just going to be like me teaching you Excel, and I don't want to do that yet. I'm going to do that later in the term. Okay. Question? I saw a hand. Yeah. Yeah, I already printed them. From those of you that want to just do it by hand, I printed them and they're laying over there. You don't get them yet. I got my little talk to do first. But yeah, you can do it by hand, but I am going to be like so critical of your printing because I want to be able to read it, right? So if you do it by hand, just make some beautiful printing for me. All right, so what I want to talk about, and I am recording this for the folks that didn't make it today, you people in the microphone, because I'm that kind of guy. Let's talk about, I'll show you this. Anyone know what this is? Here, maybe I can, anyone know what that is? Anyone know what Blackcomb and Whistler is? Nobody? Huh? Yeah, what? Where? Yeah, it's in Canada. Yeah, Whistler's it's a ski park, right? It's a awesome ski park. And if you have a lot of money, I'd recommend going there because it's so good, right? I went there when I was young and slept in my Volkswagen bus, and then they let you pack snow in the morning for 4 hours, and then they'll give you a ski ticket for the last 4 hours. So that's what I did, and it is phenomenal. But if you're in that area at all, whether it's summer or winter, you should go and you should ride peak to peak. So peak to peak is a gondola that runs from Blackcomb to Whistler. That's kind of blurry, but can you see that? What's that say? 9,921 feet. How many feet are in a mile? 5,280. Yeah. So this is approximately 2 miles between towers. The scariest damn thing I've ever done. Like super scary. The more you learn about engineering, the more you get scared with these kind of things, right? It was really nice when I didn't know anything and I just get on a plane and fly and not worry about a thing, right? It's different now. But it is phenomenal and it's an engineering masterpiece. So I put this PowerPoint up because it has a couple of videos in it that's pretty cool if you want to watch them about the construction of the peak to peak gondola. But at its time when it was built, it was the largest free-spanning gondola in the world. And it is like, it is a ride. Like, it's crazy. I thought it was just so cool getting on it. Like, I got this. And about halfway, I was like, holy smokes. It's crazy. So anyway, I'd like to show you some kind of cool engineering stuff before we start. All right, today. Uh-oh, stop. We're going to talk about the 2 programs on the campus. Maybe, I think it's here, and then it's here. So at Mount Hood, I've already said this a couple times, but this is like a key knowledge piece you're supposed to get out of this class. Like, we'll have a quiz next week, and one of the quiz questions will be something like, what's the difference between engineering technology and engineering transfer? And if you already know this, that's perfect, but I want to make sure you know it in deeper detail. The lecture I produced today that you're going to watch is going to go even deeper, right? Because really all I'm going to talk about is the academic piece, not actually the job when you get out or how much money you can make. All that's in the kind of lecture that you're going to watch later. To find them, and you'll need to find them today, you go to the homepage, it's under academics and training, and then it's programs and majors is where you will find the course listing for each one. And then you see all of the different things that we do on this campus. It's fairly crazy how many things are going on, but there's engineering transfer, there's engineering technology, nicely side by side. Confusing students maybe, but that's all right. Engineering transfer, who does that? What's the goal? And get a bachelor's degree in engineering. If that's your educational goal, these are the courses you should be following. We always do advising in the first lab of this class because It's helpful. Sometimes students are like, oh, I didn't know I should be taking that now. Oh, I didn't know I could take 5 years to get what I need out of Mount Hood and then transfer. I thought I had to do it in 2 years. So those kind of questions are what we kind of want to answer, right? Fall term, last term, if you were the model perfect student, which actually doesn't come to Mount Hood, there's no student typically that is like spot on taking exactly what's in the curriculum. Some of you had calculus in high school. Some of you have never seen calculus before and you're in 95 right now, right? So we have this wide variety of student. This is like the, I don't know, the fantasy student, like fantasy football type of thing where you vote on them or something. I don't know. But last term you should have had 221, GE101. Well, we know we're out of sequence already because you're in GE101 now. If you're a transfer student, you're taking GE101 out of sequence. Who cares? I don't care. The college doesn't care. Nobody cares, okay? So again, this is just the academic plan that we kind of got to put together for the student that can come here for 2 years and leave. It can take you 3 years. It can take you 4 years. That doesn't matter. Some of us have to work, make money, right? And we can't take 4 classes. The college knows that. The advisors know that. The universities know that. You cannot take 8 years. That's a problem. Because then you transfer and the classes you had 8 years ago might not be current enough. That make sense? So you can take 4 or 5 years, you just can't take over 7, right? And they could whine about even 6 and 5 because some of the courses you take use software and the software has changed like 20 times since then because it changes every 6 months. So that can be an issue. If you got any questions, I'm doing my little thing here to stop, raise your hand and I'll answer them. All right, so last term for the transfer students, 221, 101, 251, writing 121. Who took that last term? Yeah, see, this student doesn't exist. So don't make this have to be you, right? But know that if you're transferring, that's the program. Like you gotta click all these boxes off if you want to transfer for a full junior status, right? If you want to get freshman, sophomore done, and then go to the university as a junior, all of that's got to get checked off. That makes sense? Can you go early? Heck yeah, university will take your money. They'll take it next term. Go, right? Yeah, you can go 1 year here and then go and you'll be a sophomore, right? If you get that first year done. You can go 1.5 years and then go, and then you just got to like pick and choose courses, you know, that you missed to get caught up to go. The most efficient thing is to get 2 years here. That's the cheapest, most efficient route, and it preps you for the 3rd and 4th year at university. Okay, but know that you can go whenever. Like electrical engineers, they often leave after the 1st year, just because they have a very intense focus early on electrical systems in the sophomore year that we can't offer. So those are the ones that tend to break out early. Others, you know, whatever you want. Remember sequences. The sequential courses are important. So when you build your academic plan, you cannot put Chem 222 before Chem 221. The obvious sequences have to go in sequence. Does that make sense? 221 is offered in the fall. Since it's so popular, it's also offered in the winter, but it's not offered in the spring. So you have to think about like, when would this be offered? It's a 3-course sequence, 221, 222, and not 223. That's new. That's good news. That's just those 2. But when they're offered is important, right? Some things are offered in the summer, some things are not. With Mount Hood's course schedule stuff, you can change the term and you can go back in time and see what was offered last summer. A lot of times we just roll the schedule. So we have a bad schedule and then we just roll it into another bad schedule. That's normally how it works at the college. So you can go back in time and kind of see what was offered. Math classes, yes, in the summer. I think Chem 221, yes. I don't know about 222. Physics 211 maybe, but not the whole sequence in the summer, right? Yeah. Think about sequence, think about when you're going to take things. If you miss something, think about what the impact is on the next course. If you don't know, ask me.
So both linear algebra and calculus.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting. That's changed in the last 2 years. Like, I think what 253 is gone, right? Yeah. Yep, 251, 252, and then straight to linear, and then vector. No, no. That was the university. So that's the other thing is all of this is controlled by universities. When the universities change the game, they just shove it down to us, and then we're like, okay, that's what you want. That's what we'll do. So we don't have any control over the engineering transfer curriculum. It's driven by the universities. Yeah. 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 Yep. Right. You'll have to do another fall. Not necessarily, because we might be able to, in that next fall that you're here, like next fall when you're here, we might be able to plug in some courses that you missed that previous fall. And then if there's any general ed stuff that you missed out, then you could pick it up in the spring or in a lighter loaded, or in the summer, but in a lighter loaded term too. So not always do you have to stay at the extra fall term. It depends on what you brought in. Like, did you have any credits? Was anything done before you started? Can I use any of that to sub in if I need to? Because my goal is not to have you come back that fall, but it does happen sometimes. All right. Let's look at the 2-year, because you got to know both coming out of here. So the 2-year fall term, last term should have been 120, engineering problem solving, math 95, GE115, that's AutoCAD, and a math and a computer concepts, right? Math is much lower. Not going to go into calculus, only a 2 math sequence, 95, 111, right? But this is designed for what? Associate's degree and go to work, not transfer, right? So that's why we're not bumping the calculus that the universities required, but we're just focused on job ready skills. So Leatherman can hire you and you can function in 2 years type of thing, right? Microchip, on semi, all of them, web steel buildings, structural steel, surveying company, whoever. All right. So that's the primary difference between the two. But the curriculum's here. No student follows it piece exactly, right? You just do what you can with the available time and resources that you have. Pick away at the courses when they're all checked off, get the degree, go to work. No real time frame, although again, if it's 6-7 years, the software classes are out of date, and that's not good because this is really software driven, like a lot of AutoCAD, a lot of SolidWorks, and a lot of applications of those. So we work in it all the 2 years. By the end, you're quite proficient at it. Unfortunately, in transfer, the only AutoCAD and SolidWorks you really get is here. So then you go to the university for 2 years and you haven't had it for 2 years, and it feels like you've never had it. So you should just kind of keep that going on the side if you can, or pop a class your senior year to try and be a little more fluid with it, because you're going to use it. You're going to interact with it as a 4-year bachelor's degree engineer. So yeah, think about that. Try to stay current, because you're almost behind by the time you graduate, which is sad, but it's so true. Questions? Yeah, Adam. Boy, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? We desperately try. But you have to remember that universities are a non-profit, for-profit institution, right? So they're competing for students. They really are competing for students. Hang on a sec. So that means they just can't look exactly like each other. And they really try to like not look exactly like each other. So what they'll do is they'll split out some course numberings. So we try at the first 2 years to have GEs. So you should be able to find GE101 at Oregon State, at Portland State, at a Washington State, right? Anyone who offers engineering, there should be a GE101. There should be a GE General Engineering 115, a GE102, right? That should be there. And then there's this ENGRs, ENGR 211, ENGR 212, right? Those should also be there, but not always. So do two things, look for the numbers and then look for the title. So you'll find statics at all of them. It should be ENGR 211, but it might not be. Sorry to say. Yeah, that answer your question. Yep. Third, fourth year, game over. That's where they're really like, we're the best. We have these numbers. They don't have those numbers. Yeah.
So quick question for transferring. Let's say I took like Calc 2 here, but I never took any chemistry classes and then I transferred to OSU.
Yep.
But consider a freshman still.
You would not be able to go into those courses that have those courses you're missing as a prereq. So it depends on how they prereq it. You probably would be freshman standing, but that doesn't mean a whole lot because you can still register for any course you want. But if it has a prereq of a course you're missing, it won't let you in. That makes sense? And I'm sure they got that pretty figured out, right? The university's probably controlling who goes into what class by prereqs. Yeah. Good question. Do have what? Yep. Yep. Not enough, but they got some. Yeah. It helps if you're poor. Just saying. Yeah. Start hiding that money. You'll get a lot of aid. No, you can transfer anytime. You just won't be, you'll just be a freshman. Yeah. And you'll pay more money. Yeah. But no, you can transfer anytime. You can transfer after the first year, you can transfer after a year and a half, 4 terms, right? 5 terms, you can then go transfer. It's just you won't have everything to get that junior status. So limited courses that you'll be able to register for because you're not a junior yet. You're still a sophomore, right? So you show up fall term and you want all your 3rd year courses, you can't get in them because you're still missing some courses. Yeah. Yep. Good questions. These are really good things to think about. Like you're choosing a long path here. You want to make sure it's a good path, your right path. And you're never really sure, right? So no, you're not. So, and you won't be sure when I go through mechanical, civil, electrical, chemical, computer science, engineering, you won't be sure there either, probably. If you are sure, then you might just be like blind sure, right? Because you're sure because someone told you you were sure. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. In my opinion, you want to think about it as deeply as you can. Like, what do I want to do when I get out there? I'm going to do this 8, 9 hours a day. I'm going to do it more than I'm with my family. I'm going to do it more than I get to recreate. Like, this is kind of something I'm going to do a lot. You should enjoy it some. Like, it should be something you're interested in, right? But in the end, just get the damn degree. Pick one and get it. It's a golden ticket. You'll be able to do many, many things with either the 2-year degree or the 4-year degree. Doors open for those things, right? So I'm a mechanical. If I had to do it again, I wouldn't do mechanical because I already did that. I'd do something else, right? I think that's a normal kind of process. But as a mechanical, I feel like I could do anything. Okay, I couldn't do electrical because that's just complicated. But really, I can work in the civil engineering field as a mechanical because there's just so many concepts that are the same. Right? So you can do and go a lot of different directions with a degree. It's without a degree or with 3/4 of a degree that you just can't do much with. So
So you need it, like,
It's not going to limit you, right? So if you get 3 years into a mechanical and go, oh, I should have done civil, just get the mechanical and go to work. If you really want civil, after you get to work, start taking some classes like surveying and concrete and soils, and pretty soon you can sit for that test if you want. So it is, but you'll be an engineer working and doing well as a mechanical because you got that degree. So none of us should stop educating ourselves just because we get a bachelor's degree. Fortunately, we don't have to go full time anymore, but you will have continuing education that you'll have to keep doing. Like when AutoCAD pops its new version, or SolidWorks or MicroStation or all of the other products that become available, there's only one way to learn it. And that's either like hardcore at home, ignoring your family, or to take a class. Much easier, just take a class. Update classes are available all the time. StructCalc, all those softwares that we use, right? And then in-house, in your company, you'll have continuing education opportunities. It'll continue, just you'll get paid to do it. That makes a big difference. All right, today, I want you to get started. It's not going to take very long, so I don't feel bad about talking too much. Oh, I can't do it that way. Stop share. Share. So what I want, oh, now I don't even see it. Did I close it? Hang on. Everyone stay tuned. I did close it. Now I can share it. All right, I'll make it big. This is what you're going to do. What I want is a full 2 years, even if you're only going to be here one term. I always get a student that says, I'm just here for one term. And I'm not even going to be an engineer. I just took this class because it says orientation to engineering, and that was interesting. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But I still want a 2-year plan. So make it up if you have to, right? And we're just making it up anyway. Like, even if I put down exactly what I think I'm going to do, we don't know what the future holds, right? We could have pandemic number 4 and it could shut everything down and then we're stuck. So we don't know what's going to go on in our family life. We don't know what's going on anywhere. All that is a plan. But I wanted to start fall term 22, which is last term. So whatever you took last term, I want you to put down here. That makes sense? And then go for 2 years. If you're going to transfer after 1 year, then put the courses down you think you're going to take at the transfer university by looking up what they offer and what you think you're going to take. The easiest, obviously, is just to go by our curriculums here and do 2 years. If you're going to take 2 classes a term, then only put 2 classes down. Don't put 4 down. Does that make sense? So what I'm trying to get a feel for is exactly like, what is your plan? Like, if you've already done this, perfect. You just got to get it onto my form and turn it in. So you can just copy it over from whatever form you have it in onto this, you're good to go. Give me a credit load for each term, please. And there is a summer. So if you plan on doing the summer between fall, winter, spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, pop it in there. I'd like to see it. Okay. Questions? This one's easy. You've already done it. You did it last term. And this one should be easy. That's the current one, right? That's 23 winter. So this is just what you're taking now. So 2 boxes are done. What you're going to take in the spring, if summer, and then fall, winter, spring. Questions? If you want to do it by hand, you got to print super nice so I can read it. And they're right over there. You still got to upload it, right? If you want to actually use Excel, go to a computer, go to Blackboard, Excel's there, pop it, build it. When you're done, you're free to go. I'll see them when you submit them. Questions? Huh? Well, this is a lab, so this, I don't even yak this long normally. Once you get your academic plan done and uploaded, you're free to go. That's it. Go. Huh? Yeah, you can use the computers on the outside or you can do it by hand. Absolutely. Get to it. Get her done. Stop recording.